You know, Officer Hodges, thank you.
Pascal.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Pascal back at it again with another pop-up video. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and on Twitter, The Pascal Show. One word, hit that like button down below and don't forget to crush that subscribe button if this is your first time checking out this channel right here. Anyway, we got to jump into this story. You know, I've been seeing that people are starting to highlight officers and highlight stories that were happening on Capitol Hill, and I feel like we're going to be having stories unfold for the rest of the next week or so. I mean, this is going to be stories on stories on stories on stories going on forever. We got to jump into this story. Officer Daniel Hodges, all right, was one of the officers that was part of that was on the battlegrounds trying to fight back the insurrectionists from going into the Capitol building. And his video went viral because it went a little something like this.
Fighting it with everything we had to push him back. I got pinned to the door.
As you can see, this dude is long story short, he is literally getting his ass crushed by a crowd of people while this video is going on, because I can't really show the whole video because, you know, it's disturbing and so on, and we're obviously going to be looking at it here. There's little clips of in this video that I'm going to show you guys. But as he's being crushed by this doorway and people are just body to body, just pushing on each other, they're shoving back and forth, he's getting crushed. There's a guy through the window that's ripping off his gas mask, hitting him with his own baton. I mean, you name it, they're practically killing this guy. All right. You know, he's having a bad day. Let's just say that. Recently, he was interviewed by NBC. I mean, a whole bunch of mainstream media. But he is here to live to tell the story, and he tells us, like, in his own words, what actually happened out there. And I just, you know, I did this on the live show, but I didn't really get to highlight and really show these segments, these actual, like, their own firsthand accounts on this. And this guy, you know, especially being the person who was pinned and in that viral video, he gets to talk about it, and what he has to say is pretty cool. So here it is.
We were just fighting it with everything we had to push him back. I got pinned to the doorway. They ripped my mask off, stole my equipment, beat me up.
So like I said, right here, pinned. I mean, he's pinned in a doorway, and there are people shoving back and forth and all that. I mean, this guy's in bad shape right now.
Sprayed me with everything. Thankfully, I was able to get out before any permanent damage was done.
Yeah.
At that moment in the hallway when I was pinned, you know, I was there to do my best to keep him out, obviously. And the way I was doing that was with my body. Unfortunately, at that moment, you know, my arms were pinned. I was unable to defend myself, so you saw the guy in front of me rip my mask off. He was also able to rip away my baton. He beat me in the head with it. And once he got my mask off, I was sucking down tear gas and pepper spray and all that stuff. So,
crazy.
You know, it was. I was glad I was able to be there and help when I could, and I was glad to be able to get out of there when I could.
Damn right. I'd be happy to get the hell out of there when I could too. His hands were pinned down. So that hand that you saw a second ago, that hand isn't even his hand. This hand right here is not even his hand. That's somebody else's hand. I mean, I'm assuming that's somebody else's hand. Isn't that crazy? This dude is pinned. And what is he going to do? Crazy.
Managed to get his thumb in my eye, in my right eye, and start gouging it out. Thankfully, I was able to shake him, but that was the second time where I was afraid of, you know, that might be the end, or I might be maliciously disfigured. But
imagine that could just be, I mean, literally just the thought of being there, being stuck, and thinking that you might never go home. That if this man has a wife and kids, that his wife and kids aren't going to be able to see him. You know what I'm saying? All because of some jerk-offs that wanted to bum rush a building I mean, it's just terrifying to think that this is. I still can't believe that this right here, this ridiculousness, is actually real. Man.
Just the cognitive dissonance and the zealotry of these people is unreal. Because they were waving, the thin blue line flag.
Yes, they were.
While telling us that we're traitors and calling themselves patriots, and later on beating us with the flags.
Beating them with the thin blue line flags. Literally beating these people, beating these cops with the flag in which they're using to support them. It's crazy.
And I had one guy yelling at me, telling me that, he paid for my gear for me to give it to him.
What?
We had alleged veterans telling us that they fought for their country, they would never hurt us, but at the same time they were there hurting us.
Facts. Interesting, right?
We had the usual conspiracy theorists there telling us that we were the traitors, we should go in there and arrest the Congress for them. We should be joining forces.
And how do you have faith to, after seeing all that and how you were treated, to keep coming back to this job and doing what you do?
Oh, shoot. If it wasn't my job, I would have done that for free. It was absolutely my pleasure to crush a white nationalist insurrection.
Hell yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. He's like, it felt good. Regardless, I'm still alive, and it felt good to fight back. Because that kind of stupidity, that type of hatred, that type of ignorance shouldn't exist on American soil, period. And hell yeah, I feel like it would feel good to fight back. You know what I'm saying? Stand your ground.
I'm glad I was in a position to be able to help. So we'll do it as many times as it takes.
Word.
Just seeing online how everyone said, oh, they just let him in. The police were complicit. They didn't even try. But I think I'm glad that video is going around, because it shows people that we absolutely, fought tooth and nail to keep the Capitol safe, keep our congressmen safe.
It's interesting because you have somebody who is seeing people like myself, you, me, we're all out here watching these videos, right? We're all seeing this from just from a lens. We're not there on the battleground. We're not at ground zero where all this went down. Yes, there's a lot of people still to this day, and I still have little moments where I'm like, I still have moments. I still do feel like this is an inside job. That goes without saying. But there are footage of cops not fighting back. There are cops holding the doors open and just letting people do whatever they want, scot-free, willy-nilly. But there are other cops. I'm just going to say that there is the other side of the coin. There are cops like Officer Daniel Hodges that went into the chaos and was trying to fight to save people. And those are the kind of cops. These are the kind of stories we want to hear. The public needs to hear these kind of stories more often, because we also are seeing, oh, this is an inside job. The cops didn't give a damn. And also, come on now, let's talk about police brutality. For the past 9 months or so, we've been talking about nothing but police brutality all day. So we hear these stories all the time about that, the negative side. But what we need to see more is police officers putting their lives on the line and being heroes. So I commend this dude. I commend Officer Hodges, man. This dude is amazing, including all of the officers that were involved in that incident as well. He's not the only one getting crushed in that video. He just happens to be the one in the front. He just happens to be the one who gets caught in the video. You see what I'm saying? There's all these other cops that still are alive, thank you, Jesus, to live another day and fight another day. But those guys were here to fight back, to stop those idiots from going into that building. So, I commend Officer Hodges, real talk. I commend him. You know what I'm saying? And the other officers that were there trying to protect the building. Because without them, man, that building would have been up in flames within the hour. I guarantee that. And it is nice to hear him say, like, it felt really good to just beat some white supremacist ass. You know what I mean? Felt good to smash and beat some white supremacists' ass. I couldn't agree more. You know what I'm saying? I bet it felt real good. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I just wanted to highlight that story. There's some other stories as well of other cops that were there that were telling their firsthand experience during the riots and everything. And, hopefully I'll be able to pull another story out as well to talk about that. But one thing I want to point out, in the video, itself, excuse me, in the video itself, there is a man that was hurting him, right? And there is a man that was hurting him. Oh, no. Come on. There we go. So another thing I want to point out is that there was a man that was actually hurting this dude, hurting Hodges during the whole thing. He's in the video. You can see him ripping the mask off and everything. I want to pull something up because I think it's important for everybody to see. And maybe you might know the ID of this man. So you might be watching this show and this pop-up video, and you might actually know this idiot that tried to that was hurting Officer Hodges. Somebody, because you guys are digital detectives, freaking social media sleuths, you were able to find the footage matching the man's coat to the man inside that was ripping the mask off to a man outside on the steps of the Capitol building. And I want to show the video because we need to see it. Real talk. And if anybody knows this gentleman, please let us know. See, now, this is the same dude right here. Bang. Pushing his face, pushing the mask off. Trying to rip his... This is Officer Hodges up on top. And this is the dude right here. Allegedly. Let me get... there you go. Let's see if there's another. I know it's only half his face. But real talk. I know that's only half of his face, but real talk, this is the same dude that was inside ripping off the mask and beating Officer Hodges while he was getting crushed half to death. So if you guys happen to know who this fella is, please contact your local authorities and all that stuff. I know that's only half of his face, but man, y'all are pretty amazing in finding people with just even their faces are fully covered with a mask, and you guys are able to ID these people. So you wonderful detectives out there, you digital detectives out there, you social media sleuths out there, go enjoy, happy hunting. Hopefully you find some information about this gentleman, and that guy should be brought to justice with the quickness. Okay, so there you go, guys. Real talk. This is the real story. It's amazing that guy's still alive. I thought he would have been crushed to death. It would have been a wrap for him. But I give him mad props. I give Officer Hodges mad props for surviving and being able to live to tell the tale. And I'm excited that he's saying, and I'm happy that he's saying that he was like, hey, I was pleased to kick some ass. I think that's hella dope. Anyway, oh, and also, let's be real. Not all cops are bad. Not all cops are white supremacists or leaning towards being a part of the Trump supporters and all that. You know what I'm saying? There are other cops that think otherwise. And it looks like Hodges seems to be that guy. So I commend that dude. Thank you for your service, bruh. You know what I'm saying? We need a lot more cops like you. Anyway, comment down below. Let me know what you think. What are your thoughts on this story? You know what I'm saying? What are your thoughts? How do you feel about it? And also, if you have the information about that dude I just showed you at the end here, please comment down below and also contact local authorities. Por favor. Anyway, it's time to get going. Hit that like button. Crush that subscribe button. Don't forget to comment. It's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys in the next video. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.